I mean, all of us here like are of Latin descent. Some have a bit more contact with the Latin world than others, but don't you think like people that are like very like old school, like that lived in those like in the fields and shit, they're just like just stronger people. Like I feel like a bitch next to like guys like that, like fucking 98-year-olds, and they're fucking like just cutting the field and like just working the mills. I don't know if that's a thing. Like they just they're
cutting mills. I've heard mills when they refer to hard work. I'm gonna use it and run with it.
I've heard mills. I've heard tools. Plowing sounds like a thing that they do. But do you think like, like, I don't know. Do you think that? I think back in the day, like, well, not back in the day, I'm not that fucking old, but like when I lived in Venezuela, I saw people like that when we go in the fucking rural mid of the country. You'd see like, and I don't know if you, BJ, have seen this. Like, I know you have Dominican family and Colombian family, so.
I haven't seen it in the Colombian family, but I've definitely seen it in the Dominican family where my grandpa, he's like 92, 93, and he to this day he's still working a field and shit, and it's impressive to see him. I mean, he walks around slow, obviously, but yeah. And then they tell me that in his heyday, he would there was once like a raging bull headed towards one of his family members or some shit, and that nigga just like stopped him and wrestled him down. I'm like, what the fuck? But mind you, my grandpa now he's taller than me. He's like 6'3" or 6'4".
Well, he grew.
And back then he was
later.
He shrunk. What do you mean?
Oh, he shrunk.
No, he was taller. Because with age you shrink. So he was like 6'5", 6'6". At the time.
She reminds me of dodgeball and grabbing the bull by the horn.
Fighter.
Literally and figuratively.
All right. I mean, obviously, I don't know if he'd repeat that. But
I mean, when I was talking about this, I didn't know you had such a great example for it. Well, actually, my dad, my grandpa, they call him the bullfighter.
And then when he was young, his dad, like he was like 3 or 4.
His dad wrestled a whale. Fucking grabbed him by the tail.
The guy that caught Moby Dick.
What is it? When he was young, one of his like brothers had taken like a quarter or like a nickel or some shit, because back then a quarter or a nickel was money, but now whatever. Okay, so he took a quarter or nickel without telling his dad. So the dad, to teach my grandpa's dad, to teach his brother a lesson, literally just picked him up by his neck and just held him for like 30 seconds, like just in the air like that.
Okay.
And he was like choking, he was like dying. He's like, oh, get him out, let him go. He's like, no, he has to learn. Never again he'd take anything without asking.
Okay, that's
holy shit.
I mean, a learning experience.
But I think
he did the Lion King on his ass.
The farm strength, I call it like the farm strength that people acquire from obviously intense labor, picking up sacks of like beans or sacks of coffee, which like a coffee bean, how much could that weigh? But imagine like a whole on like a 50-pound or 100-pound sack, and you're doing that 100, 200 times a day for the whole year and for years. So like you're not even working out, and you already have this pre-strength, bro, of picking up 50, 100 and just walking a couple miles or some shit, because everything was miles and nothing was like, there was no roads back then. And
yeah, their muscles they don't experience atrophy. They stay consistently strong throughout their whole life, and I'm sure they're also mentally strong too, right? Like they're not worried about existentialism, like, oh my god, what's my life purpose and all this bullshit. Like they're like, I need to wake up, I need to work, I need to feed myself,
because
tomorrow.
They don't have fucking this much fucking free time, bro.
Right. This is the problem.
They don't got time to be doing this mariquera aquí,
this fucking maricona. But another big thing, nutrition. I mean, everything that they eat is right there. Like they pick the tomatoes, or they pick the coffee, or they pick the fucking the beans or the lettuce and shit. Over here, everything's fucking processed. Or in the city. I mean, let's not talk about like rural versus suburban. Everything in the suburban areas is processed.
Now,
like by the time